This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Monday morning, afternoonish, joined by Eddie Hearn.
How are you?
You have to leave soon, don't you?
So I do, and you got 20 minutes with me today.
Alright, we'll see how that pans out.
IFL viewers need to know this man's been grafting. Hearn, are you in the UK? Please give me 20 minutes this morning, mate. I've got so much to do before I go. Oh, come on, son. How many missed calls last night? 5, 6, just. And I'm like, the only done as well, I don't know if it was about me, but you put something up on Instagram last night, basically saying that, you know, you do anything for people and...
That song wasn't about you.
I know, but it sort of played on my mind. It was like, is he talking about me? All the things I've done for that month. And I just thought, you know
I would
what?
have tagged you in it if it was about you. No, in general.
You keep putting things out on social media, mugging me off.
Like what?
The thing in the car, that was like 4 years ago.
500,000 hits
I know, but
on Twitter.
you have put that out half a dozen times, and people are like, wow, look at that. It's like, that was ages ago. That was when I was funny. That was when I was slimmer. That was when I was fresher faced.
Okay, let's get to it as we're on time restriction. Right, today announced, done. Joshua-Povetkin, 22nd of September. Which we expected, but it's over the line and it will happen. Yeah,
it's been done for a while now. Just really rating on the venue, making sure everything's in place for that. We announced it today. Today, about half an hour, we fly to New York for the first Povetkin Joshua press conference tomorrow in New York, and then Wednesday we're at Wembley for the press conference there in London. So up and running, going to be building the card for that. It'll be a big card. It's a big fight, tough fight. You know, I know that there's a lot of talk about the Wilder stuff, but this is the toughest fight, I believe, in Joshua's career. And people in boxing know how difficult this fight is. This is a real test, a real challenge, and one that AJ's up for.
You were meant to, well, you said you were going to announce it at the back end of last week. Yeah. So you sort of waited till the weekend. Was there a reason for that or not?
Not really, no. We're just gearing up everything. We was going to go on sale today and tomorrow, on pre-sale. The way it works at Wembley, obviously you've got our fight pass, you've got Club Wembley ticket holders, you've got priority people. So there's a big sort of week's process of sales at Wembley. So we were trying to gear that process up for last week. We were going to announce it on Friday, but basically we ended up announcing it today.
With Joshua and Povetkin present at the press conference tomorrow with DAZN, is that any indication of what will kind of be for 22nd?
We'll see at the press conference tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. All right. Okay. Capacity. What's the cap on that?
90,000.
90.
Yeah. So we're at 90,000 for September 22nd, and we're looking at increasing that to over 100,000 for April the 13th. So you know, it's great because originally we were looking at only a capacity of 60 or 70,000 at Wembley, and it was. The thing is there's so many different avenues of selling the tickets at Wembley. So you've got Wembley take a massive proportion of the tickets. Obviously, so do the fighters. So does Fight Pass. So although it sounds like a huge amount of tickets, it's not. If that makes sense, because Joshua could sell 150,000. So to get the 90,000 was important. It was good, and we will probably go on pre-sale end of this week. That will be announced at the London press conference on Wednesday.
Are you expecting to sell out in a day or two?
Yeah. It's, you know, obviously Cardiff was brilliant for us, but it was also logistically very difficult. The infrastructure of hotels isn't the same. The transport's not the same. This is Wembley Stadium. You know, this is one of those nights where you can say I was there, and you know, it's going to be a great fight, great card, and you know, the 6th defence of Anthony Joshua's world heavyweight title. It's an incredible achievement. And again, look at 22 fights in. Dillian White, Dominic Brazil, Vladimir Klitschko, Joseph Parker, Carlos Takam, Alexander Povetkin. It's phenomenal. And I truly believe that one day we will look back on this record and this progress and say, wow, he fought everybody. Because by then you'll look at it and he would have beaten them all. And this is all about unifying and becoming the undisputed champ. And he's so focused on that right now. He wants to walk through Povetkin and then he will just smash Wilder to smithereens. That's what he wants to do. So we're in good shape.
Any indication at this stage who could be on the undercard?
No, I want a really juicy chief support. Looks like we're going to do. Can you turn that off, please?
It's off.
you know, if you're going to get my time, at least have the respect to turn your mobile off.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We're looking to do Campbell against Mendy on that card as well, final eliminator. Could do a Coley versus Askin on there as well. Yeah, so just building that at the moment. Obviously, we have a new world champion in Rocky Fielding.
We'll come
Great
to
win,
that, yeah.
And yeah, looking to put on a major card, just building that this week.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to obviously Germany for the weekend. A fantastic stoppage win from Rocky Fielding in Zeuger. Yeah, and you've kind of that's actually where I met you, when Rocky Fielding won prize fighter in Liverpool. And back then, it's been quite a bit of a journey for Rocky. He hasn't obviously had the disappointment with the Callum Smith fight. But
Firstly, I wasn't there because it was one of my best mates' stags, which had been planned for about 6 months. So, but we went out to a beach bar, and then they went out to a club after. But I went back to the room and watched it in the room, and I'd had a few beers, and I was just going absolutely mad. I thought it was just. I was speaking to Frank, who was obviously there, and it was just such a great performance from Rocky, and it was the performance that I hoped that he could deliver, and exactly what he needed to deliver, which was basically let your hands go, use your size, beat him up. He broke his will, he took shots, he kept coming forward, he beat him up. The body punching was excellent, the plans from Jamie Moore and Nigel were brilliant. I was just so pleased for him because he's boxed everyone he's been asked to box. You know, there's not been one person where he's gone, oh no, I don't really think, like, he's boxed everyone. And he's never really had the sort of, you know, he's always been Rocky from Stocky. So he's also like, he sells loads of tickets in Liverpool. But he's never really had, because of his amateur setup or the GB or the Olympics, like, he hasn't been one of those guys. And that makes it even more sweeter. And even more sweeter that I've been looking for an opportunity for him like this for a long time. And it's been frustrating. And sometimes you put all your time and your heart and soul to try and deliver something for someone, but when it doesn't come off or you don't get the rub of the green, people start thinking, oh, you don't care about Rocky Fielding, you know? So then we finally got the Ramirez fight, it was all agreed, and they decided to fight someone else. And I think that might have been a blessing in disguise, because Ramirez away from home, you know, it's a tough fight. And I was gutted when that fell through, and I think Rocky was really downhearted. But the one thing that he deserves so much respect for, and this is beyond his performance on Saturday, is staying patient and staying in the gym. And that is really a lesson to all fighters, to stay in the gym, stay patient, stay in shape, stay focused. We gave him a tick out on the Brook card in March, 8-rounder, just hoping that we could just find this opportunity. The opportunity came, he was ready, he trained brilliantly, he put in a brilliant performance. He's WBA world champion. It's unbelievable for him. Brilliant, I'm so proud of him. And again, massive credit to Jamie Moore, who is on a brilliant run at the moment. And Nigel as well, I saw his Instagram stuff about getting there from wherever he was, Kenya and also Oliver Harrison deserves a lot of credit as well, because he put a lot of time and effort into Rocky Fielding. And MTK, you know, they've kept him busy, they've nagged me to get the shot, and I'm pleased that it's all come out, and he's got a really good future ahead of him now. Big fights in the division. And who knows where Rocky Fielding could go.
First defence back in Liverpool?
Yeah, I mean, Sowlands, you know, we have to work with Sowlands on this one fight now, which could be a rematch, or could be one of those guys, which, you know, we'll talk to Calla. I like the James DeGale fight in Liverpool. You know, he's got Chris Eubank Jr., that's a big fight. He's got the winner of Groves against Smith, potentially. He's got Gilberto Ramirez. He's got Benavidez. Do you think he will take the rematch? I don't think he will. I think he was beaten up badly. No, I don't think he will. You know, you've got John Ryder rematch. But just brilliant for Rocky Fielding. You know, it's good to see people, you know, you look at the photos and you look at their lives and you go, Rocky Fielding, been there, done it, come in, prize fighter. I remember him walking up the steps, right, to the Wayne prize fighter. He was like 3-0 or something like that. And he walked up and I looked at him and I thought, oh, you've got no chance in this tournament. And he won it. He stopped everyone. He's the first person.
Is he the only person to have done
quite possibly to stop everyone.
To stop everyone, yeah.
Massive. He won like 32 grand or something like that. And he was making, I don't know, 500 quid for a fight. And then he went out, you know, he's achieved a lot. And I just think it's great. I look at Rocky and I say, you know, you look at him. He's relentless now on Instagram and Twitter. He's so happy. But you look at him, you see his missus. She's pregnant, expecting. He's got a lovely baby son. You know, he's got that world championship belt. Life is sweet for Rocky Fielding, and that is great, really good. And that's not even thinking about the future. You know, he's sitting there now going, my life is absolutely made up. I'm world champion, got a beautiful son, my missus is pregnant. Life is so good to be Rocky Fielding. And that's nice for people to be able to have that happiness. But I'm thinking beyond that now. I'm thinking, all right, where can we go? How much money can you make now? Now it's about, you know, making the money, being in the big fights. And again, I know, like, this isn't... I mean, our interviews, I'll tell you a lot of in-depth into the way I think about the future for fighters, but I now think and say, how can we get Rocky a bigger house? You know? How can we get those fucking big gates on the outside, you know, that he drives in his Range Rover, wherever it is, and says, this is what boxing's given me, you know? And I don't want that to sound like, oh, it's all about money for you, but that, like, in any job, in any career, isn't that always the focus? Yeah, we've got to be happy and we've got to enjoy what we do, but if you're a fighter and you're putting yourself through this time and time again, in camp, in sparring, waiting for work, you know, injuries, going out and having a fight with someone in the ring, shouldn't you get those rewards? So I look at it and say, okay, Rocky is world champion. No one can take that away from him. And that, by the way, that will mean more than the money and the house, you know, and it's not even the houses to say, oh, I've got this and I've got that, but I just want him to walk away from the sport, like all our fighters, and go, oh, look at what boxing gave me. I want to see Rocky Fielding in 20 years at one of our shows. I want him to come up to me and go, all right, lad, how's it going? Oh, great, you know, life is good, blah, blah, blah. I got this, I couldn't be happier. So that's what you hope boxing gives people. Sorry, it's a bit deep, but, you know, and I look at Rocky now and I think, it's a bit like, you know, going back to Tony Bellew, I was like, how far can we go with this? Sometimes you get your little spin, your little break in life, and then you're off. You know, he could go and have a massive fight. He could win another world title. He could end up having a pay-per-view fight. He could, like, you just don't know where the Rocky Fielding story will go. But he's never really been, you know, even, I'll say, you know, Sky haven't focused on him, but he hasn't obviously been a De Gea or EUBANK, a Joshua, a Brook, a Hearn, these kind of guys. And he's quite good now that it's like, did you see Rocky Fielding? Are you going to start paying a bit more attention now? You know, and that applies to us as well, because he's never been one of those guys for us. But we've always done our job, we've always given him the opportunities, we've always been fair to him, and we've delivered him his shot. Now it's a case of, how far can we go? And I'm excited to see.
Definitely.
Sorry if that was a rebel.
That's all right. Right, July 28th card. Just run through some things in there. Obviously, I spoke to Joshua-Povetkin the other day. Yeah. Vicky Summers has pulled out. How are people finding this out on social media before kind of you've had a chance to...
So a lot of the time, and this is, well, we'll get onto the Brook stuff in a minute.
Yeah.
You want to announce a withdrawal with the replacement.
Yeah.
It's just standard practice, and sometimes there's a crossover. So we've got a great opponent for Joshua-Povetkin, and we hoped that would be boxed off like last Thursday, and we're just waiting on some of his visa stuff. So I don't want to tell you, but he's a former world title challenger, European champion. It's such a tough fight for him. So we just want to make sure. I'm not in the business of announcing fights that aren't done. Like, otherwise I could just announce the Povetkin fight. But then what happens next week when his visa don't come through and everyone looks
What's his nationality?
Russian.
Okay. So
with the Brook stuff, Kell Brook stuff, he has had a foot injury, an ankle injury that he picked up 2 weeks ago. And I spoke to Dominic, and it was a case of, look, we think he'll be okay. And basically, at the end of last week, it was decided he can't make the fight. So then we spoke to EUBANK Junior about taking the slot, which some talk's ongoing, but it looks like he doesn't want to take the slot.
Because his promo leaked, didn't it?
Yes. That was not the best. And there is a small chance that he could still box on a card. But then last week, we were in talks with Haymaker, about Joe Joyce fighting Nick Webb, who had a great fight in the amateurs, Commonwealth heavyweight title fight. We like the theme. You got White Parker, you got Chisora-Takan, and you got Joyce against Webb. So Nick Webb signed a contract for that fight, and we're just waiting on Joe Joyce to sign the contract, which I expect him to do. I mean, he calls out Jarrell Miller and Bryant Jennings, and this is Nick Webb. So it's a really good domestic heavyweight fight. So it looks like, providing Joyce signs the contract, that we'll announce Joyce and Webb to replace Brook. Brook Cook. So when you talk about the crossover, I like to just give you the news and say, right, Brook's injured, this is the fight replacing it. And that was the plan, to do that on Friday. But again, Joe Joyce is waiting.
How long has the Brook thing been sort of?
2 weeks he's been injured.
Weeks.
But the decision was made last week.
Right.
And that's why we contacted Brandon Cook to let him know, which now we look at Cook, and I'm quite confident that I'll make the Eggington against Cook fight in Birmingham on September the 8th. Because Kel's not going to be out for a long time, but it's just a case now, does Kel wait for the December fight against Hearn? Or does he have that fight in September in the mean? Because it's starting to close the gap.
But will he on that same bill?
No.
No.
Okay. But he could go on the Joshua card, for example.
Because people on social media kind of say you're keeping like Brook's name on it for pay-per-view buys.
No. People know enough about, and I've told people from the start. I told everyone when Brook was injured 2 weeks ago and said, we're monitoring him, hopefully he'll be okay. I don't have to tell you that, but that's the truth. But I just hoped that last Thursday or Friday we could have announced the Joyce fight, and again I'm just chasing Haymaker all the time now.
What's the delay in that one?
I don't know. I mean, I alerted Haymaker a week ago, so they've had quite a lot of prep. Joe Joyce wants all these big fights, wants all these big nights, been offered a huge amount of money. If he turns it down, which I don't think he will, but don't know.
Have you got
White Rhino? White Rhino. How about we do the White Rhino against Nick Webb? We pay him a load of money, and we also, for the first time, give, this is a bit off the cuff, like a winner's bonus. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you're getting paid a fortune, you're getting paid a fortune, and also the winner gets this. Because I quite like that in the World Series, Super Series,
Like double the purse?
Yeah. And watch them go at it.
So is that your contingency?
Not really, I just thought about it then. No, I think Joyce Webb's going to happen.
Right.
So.
But if it doesn't, then...
If it doesn't, then we go back. I mean, we need to find a good fight to replay that. I know Brook Cook wasn't setting the world alight, but it was still Kell Brook.
And the name's rhymed.
That was the main thing. The whole reason I made that fight, because it was rhyming. So, there was other fights out there for Kell, but they just didn't rhyme with his name. So I need to make sure that I come back and say this is a good quality fight to replace that, and that's what I'm working on at the moment. It's not ideal.
You're kind of running out of time a little bit here.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought it was all done last week, but again, just waiting on those boys to confirm.
With EUBANK, what's your situation with the World Boxing Series?
So I had a deal in place with Calla, who was happy for EUBANK to box on July 28th, because he's also boxing a 10-rounder on the final date. And I think EUBANK just said, no, we'll wait for the final.
Okay.
So,
but you said there's a
he had a slot. We spoke to them. He wanted to fight on July 28th. He said it was all done, and then he just said, actually, we'll wait. So that sort of held us up a little bit. And then we turned to Joyce against. But all these have been in place, waiting on Brook, who we now know is not on the card. So we need to make sure we strike on one of these. To be honest with you, KUGAN, I'm spinning about 50 plates right now, all over the world, and it's mental. I mean, we'll come on to the American stuff in a minute, but it's like I'm just on the phone all night. Literally every night I'll get home from work, and at 10 o'clock when the kids are asleep and the missus is asleep, I'm on the phone till 4 o'clock in the morning doing these deals, and in America it's like everybody, I say everybody because there's a few people who we're working with, and He's trying to block us. He's preying on our demise. And it's hard graft. It's hard graft. And there are times where you think, fucking hell, like, I'm sitting here in the UK, we've got such a great thing going. And then in America, we're almost back to the start of where we were with Matchroom UK. 6-7 years ago. All the other promoters trying to gang up, stop us, stop him from signing, make sure that fight doesn't happen. And now that's happening all over again in the US. And it's just lucky that I'm a hungry motherfucker that I ain't gonna let these fuckers win. So I'm coming out strong tomorrow with the announcement. Some great fighters signed already, and we're just starting. But if I didn't have this hunger that is in me, I would probably just go, fuck it up, do you know what? Leave that. But I'm hungry. I'm starving. And I felt like Jerry Maguire on one phone call a few days ago, signing a fighter. Because the hearing, you know, like, you imagine, you get this offer and you go, I like that. I like this Hearn guy. Seems like quite a quirky guy. You know, and then someone comes on and goes, oh, you don't want to do that because what does Eddie know about the US and, you know, the zone? I mean, like that, what's that? Like, I'm telling you, oh shit, I've said his name.
So that's just been cut out.
Oh, okay, cut that out.
No, that bit's been cut out so people wonder who it was. Carry on, don't worry, it's cut out.
Okay, so everyone's saying, and then you just got to listen to me. You got to look into my eyes and you got to hear and feel the passion that I will deliver for you. And I'm not this fucking lazy guy who's just going to sort of sit there and go to sleep. I'm out there grafting for you, for your career, to give you the big fights, to give you the most money possible. And I'm doing it sometimes at my expense. I'm going to be fucked in 10 years, 20 years, because I can't go on. Like, I mean, unless I look at these guys like Bob Aaron, my old man. I mean, how much can I sit up all night on the phone, grafting, sending emails, reading, talking, no sleep, just like, I don't know, at the moment, I'm absolutely fine. But at some point, it's like, you're either going to just go and keel over, or you're going to go, I can't do this anymore. So let's push ourselves, and let's see when that moment comes. It might be 10 years, like that. These are sort of minimums now. 10 years, might be 20. Am I just sick in the head that it's 40? I don't know. Where will we be in 10 years?
Will you even be in the sport?
Will I even be alive?
Sure.
Who knows? But that's life, isn't it? You got to roll with the punches, because tomorrow's another day.
Can you just give us some sort of update on what conversations you've had with Shelley Finkel and Wilder's team?
Nothing.
What? Nothing at all?
Only that we're going to send them a signed contract from Anthony Joshua.
Has he signed that yet?
No, we're going to, when we're in America, we're going to get this contract, Shelley Finkel, all signed, and say, there you go, my son, April the 13th, it's done. All you got to do is sign it. They'll use the excuse and say, no, what we meant was that deal only applied for the next fight. So how does that deal only apply for the next fight when we're having a bigger fight than you're having next?
Which you expect to be who?
Brazil.
Still.
So actually, we should be offering you less than we've just offered you, because our profile is going to go shoom, and your profile is going to go or it's either going to go or, and we're going to go shoom. So this could possibly be my greatest David Brent moment. 2 profiles: Joshua, Wilder, shoom, or shoom. But either way. See that?
Such a big.
Oh mate, I've lost my marbles here.
So
anyway,
you won't go back and improve the deal you've already done. April.
No. You either take it or we watch probably the best heavyweight fight out there, certainly in the next couple of months. Dillian Whyte against Joseph Parker. If Dillian Whyte can knock out Joseph Parker and Deontay doesn't want to fight, we'll just do Whyte Joshua.
Is that your plan B for that?
Yeah, but I want to make one thing clear. That's like, it's not even, hopefully Deontay doesn't take the fight and we can fight Whyte. We're desperate for the Wilder fight. That's what we want. But by the way, He's got an absolute machine in Povetkin to deal with first. So don't worry about Wilder. That's why we want to say signed, done from our side.
What's the deadline? You must
no deadline. Well, yeah, but not. It's not like a day or a week or a month. Don't get me wrong. If they don't sign by the time the Povetkin fight's over, then we've got to make our move. But it's not one of them sort of when they made us an offer, said you've got to give us an answer in 24 hours. This is just that it's there because I want Deontay to see the ink. You know, I want him to smell it a little bit. Just, no. Because when you look down at that contract and it says all blank, no, it's got Anthony Joshua's name but no signature. Then you look down at it and it's got Anthony Joshua's name and this beautiful signature. Oh, you know, you just got to put yours in. There's 15 big ones for you and a chance to be undisputed heavyweight world champion.
How much is Joshua making that?
Depends on how the show does. I would think.
Potentially.
I think there's between 40 and 50 million dollars in the fight in the UK. That's not of revenue, by the way. That's in terms of the fighter pot. Because people always go, oh yeah, you know, I think you've got Sky's pay-per-view, you've got your costs of the show, you've got the undercuts, to stuff to come out. So, but yeah, I think 40 is a conservative number, probably something I'll budget for, as in for the show. So 15 and 25. Could be 50. It's got a very good chance of being 50. So 35 and 15. But I would say that it's definitely over 30% for Wilder, probably close to 35.
How long does Joshua commit to you for?
We've got some news coming on that as well.
Okay. Because obviously his next 2 fights are going to be...
Yeah, we know that, but beyond that as well.
Beyond that. Yeah. Okay. You're not worried about AJ Promotions?
AJ Boxing exists. I think he knows enough about the work we do and the task of the job to stay away from that.
Okay. Right, is there anything else? Because we're going to to let people know now, we're going to do another bit, a quick bit, about your announcement for tomorrow, including the fighters that you're signing.
Awesome. How's this work, these new phones?
Yeah.
How'd you get it on? Oh wow, okay, hurry up. Okay.
Alright, well, is there anything else?
No.
For today?
No, not for today.
Not for today. Alright, well, Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV today.
And remember, in life, shoom and thank you.